Let me show you how I'll make my own bread so you can start making yours too. In the bowl, I added 2 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast, and I couldn't find my tablespoons, so I just used my teaspoons, which is 4 teaspoons. And I gave everything a good mix and waited about 10 minutes until the dry yeast activated. It will look like this when it's done. Then you can add 1/4 cup of butter, about 2 teaspoons of salt, and 5 cups of bread flour. Now you can use all-purpose flour, but for it to rise, you might want to wait longer than an hour. Bread flour has a higher protein than all-purpose flour, so that's why a lot of people recommend just going ahead and doing it with bread flour. Also, you don't need a KitchenAid. It's just for convenience. You can do this by hand. You can do this with an off-brand mixer. Just mix the dough until it all sticks together. After you mix it enough for it to be a dough ball, stick it in the oven for about an hour with the light on. This will help your dough rise because of the warmth. Now, my house tends to be cold, so I have to do this step, but you can just leave it on the counter. After an hour, your dough should have doubled in size like this. Now, per the dough gods, you have to punch your dough. It's just something that everybody does. Just go ahead and do it, y'all. Now, a lot of people have asked me, what if your dough is sticky? Just put some flour on it. There's nothing wrong with that. I do recommend before putting your dough on the counter, put some flour down because it will help with not sticking onto your counter. I always forget this step and then later on I'm regretting it. After you've given a small shape to your dough, cut it in half because this recipe makes 2 loaves of bread. Then you will stretch and lay out your dough and roll it together like a burrito. And you would do this step for both halves of the dough. Then you want to grab your pans and butter them up. You do not want to miss this step. And you can use aluminum, you can use glass. I'm showing you both so you can see that both work well. Then you're going to cover them up and let them rise for about 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, they should look like this and be ready to be popped in the oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. And after 30 minutes, you just made 2 healthy bread loaves. I wait about 10 minutes before I take the loaves out of their pans, but then you are ready to go. Let me know in the comments if you try this recipe.